Dum 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 dum.
Paul, welcome to Queerguru and congratulations on your play Tell Me Straight, which had a great run at the King's Head last year and was nominated for an Offie Award. And now it's going out west to Chiswick Playhouse. So
yeah,
let's start with you telling us in your words what Tell Me Straight is all about.
oh, okay. Tell Me Straight is a one-act play. It's about a character based on my own experience called Him, and it's about his dating history with several different men who all happen to be straight or straight curious. And yeah, there's two actors on stage, myself and then also another actor who plays all the other men. And so it's like touching, funny, a little bit heartwarming at times, but also quite heartbreaking at times. So yeah, that's kind of Tell Me Straight in a nutshell.
Have you ever dated a gay man?
Yes, I have. I've been in several relationships with gay men, but I think my character says something like, it's like I'm a beacon, a gay lighthouse, and
Really?
they seem to attract these straight men, is what my character says. And it's definitely something I've experienced in my life, kind of since the age of maybe 15, 16, men who are curious. Yeah, so
I think we all
although
have. I think we all have, but I think most of us, our experiences weren't that funny.
some of these are ridiculous.
It's when it's all over and we go, I'm still straight. That's what's the word. So
some of those as well in it.
yeah. Are you one of those writers then who doesn't go to therapy? You just pour it out on the stage and let us work it out for you?
No, well, no, I'm not. But a lot of people do say it is like therapy, and there is something about it that is quite therapeutic to just kind of get it all off your chest. But I think that personally for me happened in the writing of it. By the time I'm performing it, I don't really think of the character as me anymore. I think of him as like a bit of an alter ego, like if my life went wrong is kind of what this character is. Yeah.
So why write the play and why write it now then?
Well, I had the idea just before the first lockdown, and I'd already written another play and it had a showcase and it was due to be produced in 2020, and then obviously coronavirus happened. So I was like gifted this obviously expansive time to just sit and, you know, figure out things writing wise. And I spent about 2 months working on an early draft of it. And then I got a group of actors together and creatives, and we just all sat down and were like, what is this play? How can we make it better? And then I went away and made it better. And then the plan was just to submit it to venues and see if anyone liked it. And then the King's Head was the first venue we submitted it to, and they said yes. So it's kind of just blown up from there, really, which is obviously what everyone wants when they write something. So yeah, I'm really excited.
For people watching this live from London, King's Head is one of the most prestigious indie theatres and does a lot of queer work. Have you? So you had a run. Have any of your straight men been to see it yet?
No, not yet. But one of them is going to come to this next run.
Oh, really?
They do. They do know. I spoke to, because there's 3 characters in it that are kind of like a mishmash of loads of experiences, but one of them is specifically based on one person. And I spoke to him about it, and he's amazing, and he is actually now bi, and he is like, yeah, well, it's your life too. You know, you can't just ignore that part of our friendship relationship. But yeah, no, I think he's been really open to it, and I think he's very excited, but he might feel more awkward when he gets there. But I don't really paint anyone in a bad light. It's kind of open for the audience to decide who they side with.
You mentioned that one of them's turned bi, and we're very obsessed with labels these days, gender, non-binary, whatever. Do you think there's a label for gay men that like straight men then?
I don't know. Everyone has a kink, don't they? I don't know. I think there are probably some people who do specifically chase straight men, but I don't really consider myself like that as a person. I've had lots of relationships with gay men, so it's not something that I can relate to. But I'm sure that there are some men who that's their sole goal in life to end up with a straight guy. Whereas with me, I'm actively trying to avoid them. But I just happen to have a whole history of them to write about. But yeah, no, it's a thing. It's definitely a thing.
Sorry, how is it like being the actor and the writer of the piece?
The other plays that I've written, I can't be in. So far, I'm not one of those writers who's just like, I'm just going to keep writing stuff so that I can act in it. But it's been really collaborative from the minute I started working on it. I had George Greenland working with me and Imogen Francis working with me, and we worked together to make the piece what it is. So by the time that we're in rehearsals like we were today, I'm not really thinking as a writer, I'm thinking as an actor. And yeah, I feel like all the writing is done for this play now. Things still might change. In fact, something did change today, but I think as a whole, that's kind of cemented now.
You got great reviews last time, and the Offie nomination, which is like an off-Broadway for England. And I read you were compared to Schitt's Creek and Fleabag. That must make you very happy.
Yeah, because they're like two of my favorite things. So when I think Schitt's Creek is probably one of the best explorations of queer relationships that we've seen on the TV, because it's not about trauma, it's about celebrating and being joyful. And I mean, Fleabag I didn't see it live. I saw the TV series and then I watched the stream that was on Amazon Prime, and I think she's amazing. She's so good at what she does. And the play kind of has moments of monologue. And I think that's probably where they've got that reference from. And yeah, there are obviously all these potentials that may or may not be straight. So I think that there is that element from Schitt's Creek as well. But I was gobsmacked when I read that.
I may have to translate for my American audience the word gobsmacked. I'm not sure. So you mentioned you wrote this because of a lockdown, but how has the lockdowns in general affected your work as an artist?
To be honest, I think they've been a bit of a gift to me. Before the lockdown, I was a jobbing actor. So, I did musical theatre, I did bits of telly, like, whatever came up kind of thing. And then I would be teaching and all sorts of random stuff. Whereas in the lockdown, because I had the time to actually create, it's meant that I now have work that I can hopefully get programmed, and it's looking like another one of my plays is going to be on later in the year. So for me, it's been really, really good. And yeah, I think having 2 plays on last year was just incredible. And now getting to start this year with another one. Yeah, I just feel very lucky that the way things are.
You are lucky
into my lap.
One of the few is very positive about what's happened in
the
lockdown. So this is put to bed because you've got to run, and we're going to put the dates up in a minute. Do you have another play in the works? Maybe, thank goodness you're queer after all?
Oh, no, I don't have that one.
Do you have something in the works?
I've got 2 other plays that I think are, one is ready to be performed, but the other one I think is ready to start being workshopped. And one is a love story about my childhood, and one is a really different story about art and about who gets to create art and why. And I think they could both hopefully be on this year. If not this year, then maybe next year. But yeah, and I won't be in either of those either, which is quite nice too, because I can just be behind the desk and look at it from that way. But yeah, I've got a few things up my sleeve.
We're followed in like 46 countries around the world. Do you just want to give your opinion on how healthy queer theatre is in London right now?
Yeah, I think there's been a massive surge of queer representation on stage. There's a new musical going to the Turbine Theatre, which is another fringe venue, and it's about a lesbian couple. It's called But I'm a Cheerleader. And that's, I think that it's probably the first time that I've known that there's been a play that's programmed that is with lesbian protagonists. It's a musical, but, that level of platform. And yeah, there's tons and tons. The Vault Festival, which is the big fringe festival in London,
So
that was
sad it's
cancelled.
not on. So sad.
Yeah, and that is normally a massive opportunity for queer artists to show their work and to show works in progress and stuff like that. But a lot of venues have rehomed a lot of that work too. So hopefully there is still quite a lot of queer theatre. I haven't looked at anything because we're busy with the play, but when it's over, I'm going to try and see a few of those things. And then obviously Edinburgh will be coming back this year. So I think, you know, it's good. Well, hopefully, I think there is a massive representation is so huge at the moment. And I think queer theatre, there has always been queer theatre, but I think now it's becoming more mainstream and less fringe, which is really exciting, I think.
Yeah. So you heard it from Paul. If you don't make it to Chiswick on the dates we're going to put up in a minute, which shame on you, come to London anyway, because it's an exciting place for queer theatre. We should encourage you. Thanks for talking to us and have a great run.
Thank you.
Dum, 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 dum. Lilting river tides of evening, the trees all lending their percussion, the fields are old